Hey guys, this is Yusuf for Good Games No One Played, and this is Castlevania Curse of Darkness for PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. So, I'm not into Metroidvanias. Having to remember to come back to a place after I have a power that I got from another place hurts my head. It's like listening to somebody tell you a story that goes off on a lot of tangents.
So then I went into the room and my boyfriend was totally making out with Broly.
Wait, is your boyfriend bisexual? Who is Broly? The Dragon Ball character?
Well, so Chad is only bisexual when he's drunk, but I told him to cut the crap if he wanted to be with me. I mean, how can you be a drunk bisexual but in a committed relationship sober? Am I right?
Okay, yes, this is interesting. Yes, you want to know how a dude gets named Broly, but you have to put in a lot of mental energy into picking the story back up after these side explanations. So, after my tangential example of a tangent, let me come back to Castlevania Curse of Darkness. This game is about the two Devil Forge masters in the Netflix TV series, Hector and Isaac. This is a different universe though, so it's no spoilers. And Hector had a woman he was in love with, but she died and he swore off his Devil Forge master magic. Devil Forge masters take dead bodies as vessels and revive minions from hell in them. And Isaac, who is a ginger in this universe, is black in the new one. A side note, Hollywood has been replacing redheads with black people. It's a thing. Look it up. And Isaac has not renounced his Devil Forge master powers and has a dastardly plan, but he needs Hector to make it work. So he pulls Hector's weak, salty butt into the castle under the understanding that they will have a fight to the death. But first, Hector has to reclaim his powers. And Hector sees the trick, but at the same time he wants to kill Isaac, so he searches through Dracula's castle to get his powers back. The main complaint that anybody has for this game is the most obvious fact that the scenery isn't really that nice and Hector has a slow run. And that is strikingly obvious in the beginning of the game before you actually move into the castle. However, when you get into fighting these monsters, it becomes obvious that you need the space to maneuver and the game provides you this. I never found myself trapped on a wall or in the corner, and that's because of how wide open the spaces are. Before I talk about the battle system, which is the highlight, let me talk about the concept of innocent devils. Innocent devils are familiars that you take with you, and you can build them up in specific ways based on which weapon you use when the innocent devils are activated. You have to gain more and more as time goes on, and they help you get into other areas. The weapons include huge two-handed swords, simple one-handed swords, and rapier swords. The double axes and single axe recycle the sword animations. I personally found that the rapier is ineffective because you strike in a single line and it's a 3D fighting game with multiple enemies. And the one-handed sword is too slow as usual. I'm not so bad at action-adventure games that I need to tank my way through. So the primary reason to use these other weapons is so that you can build up your innocent devils in different ways. There's a skill tree, and all of the IDs grow differently based on the jewels the demons dropped, and that is influenced by the weapon you use. They also level up as you do in battle, as long as you are actually using them. I will tell you that I did not find the innocent devils very helpful except for the very first fairy who had all the healing skills. I know that if I stuck with it and swung a heavy axe around for about 2 hours, I could have gotten a cool type of Pokemon. But I don't think it's worth chasing the carrot when a higher level fairy can take more hits and heal me better while I slice through Isaac's demons. there's this big oaf innocent devil that I kept swinging at him, thinking he was one of the bad guys. The fighting system was what I really was here for. It was a lot of fighting, but it made the game more pleasurable, even though it was kind of like Dynasty Warriors when it came to attacking people. Hector has a dodge and a double dodge. He also has one of those just-in-time block stagger moves, and your block interrupts any aggressive fighting animation that you are partially executing. The map navigation was a little complex, like most Castlevanias are. However, to mitigate that, they gave you the ability to mark places on your map that you want to go back to, which I don't understand why every map in every game isn't this way. I don't see why I need to go to Google Maps to find maps that somebody already marked up just to know where the hell I'm supposed to be going. It was so helpful that I never want to play a game again in this genre without it. Seriously, I don't know these people who enjoy exploring places that encourage you to get lost. If you are that person, tell me why in the comments. Anyway, so that's Castlevania's Curse of Darkness. Surprisingly more fun than I thought it would be, but really hard to edit for my Let's Play channel. If you made it this far, thank you. If you haven't subscribed and you want to see more content, blah 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 blah. Can you guys explain to me in the comments why running back and forth to find things that apply to other things is fun? Is it the gameplay that makes it worth the journey? Anyway, see you guys next time. Peace. Alright, I got a couple extra minutes to wax philosophical about this game. See, at first I picked it up, and running around outside of Dracula's castle was really boring. So I ran through a couple of empty hallways, fought a couple of people, and then I just kind of quit on the game. I was a little tired of it. Then later on, after watching the Netflix series, I got inspired to play a Castlevania game, and that one it wasn't the only one. I actually had the other Castlevanias, the ones for Xbox 360 in tow, but this one was one I never really gave a chance, so I decided to play it for a couple more minutes than I did before, just to see how it worked out. Once I ascertained the character was Hector, and I knew him from the Netflix series, I was all in on that one. And the story was a little interesting too, because characters kept popping out with magical powers and stuff, and they seemed to have a bearing on the story, but then not really have a bearing on the story, but then have a bearing on the story again. There was a monk with a scythe, and a man with a big top hat from the future. It was very weird. Also, there's another female. It's a good thing that Hector's girlfriend died, because when the lady came in and Hector's like, oh, well, there's no other women in this area, she reminds me of my girlfriend who just died. It's like, yeah, sure. Here we go. Well, at least there's a whole castle full of bedrooms you guys can do stuff in. However, it didn't really, for Castlevania, they're very short on story. But they did a good job of helping propel you forward into the game, fighting people when they had fully animated cutscenes and stuff. And the voice acting wasn't too bad. It would be funny if it was schlocky, but I think the schlocky voice acting is a lot better in 2D games than when you have to see it in 3-dimensional games. With House of the Dead, it's pretty much the schlockiest you can do. So on a scale of House of the Dead, I can't take a Castlevania that is higher than a 7 on the schlockometer when it comes to the voices. But yeah, so this game actually, when I finished, I felt good about it, and that's pretty much the main draw behind whether you like a game or not, is if the last part of the game, if it doesn't leave you with a sour taste at the end, you think it's a good game. I've found if you play a game that's really good for most of the time, and then all of a sudden the ending or the end last couple of stages at the end were really irritating, then it really influences whether or not you're gonna play the game again. I won't play this game again. It was way too long. But after you finish the first game, you actually unlock the ability to play as Trevor Belmont, and that kind of entices you to play the game one more time. However, I won't play as Trevor Belmont for a long time. Like it'll take a long time for me to cycle back to the game and think that the story has changed. You know, hopefully they do change the story. I'll have to check that out. But anyway, thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you guys on the next Good Games No One Played or video game plot summary. Peace. I won't be doing one for this game, though, for sure. That is, unless you guys ask me for it, then I totally will do it. Gotta love YouTube.